All right, so Patrick asked me to come up here and talk to you guys about my organization. So I have an organization now, and it's called the East Cleveland Growth Association. It was incorporated on April 12th of this year, and we are a fully functioning 501c3 charity organization based in East Cleveland. So the Growth Association is an economic engine, right? And what I like to say is that our goal, our objective is not to teach poor people how to live poor in the ghetto, right? So we have no interest in social programs. Now that may sound hard, but somebody had to take that stand, right? So we're not trying to bring low-income housing into the city. We're not trying to bring drug treatment programs into the city. We're not trying to help people with low incomes. We're not doing job training or any of that. Because there are enough people doing that, right? And the reality is, when you do things like that, you continue to perpetuate the status quo. And that's not suggesting that it's bad, right? But you perpetuate the status quo, right? There's no incentive to change. So there's this word that people hate to use because they misuse it, and they believe that it means something that it doesn't mean. And the word is gentrification. And people are afraid of that word because what we believe that word means is pushing the black people out of the community and then inviting the white people into the community and then pricing the black people out of the market, out of the homes and all that, right? That's not what gentrification is. Gentrification is developing a middle-class mindset. It's that simple. And you don't have to be any color in particular to have a middle-class mindset. You just have to desire better than you have today. So what we want to do is we want to move the mindset of the people in the city. And in that, some people will get lost. And we have to take the position that that's okay because we want to change the dynamics of the city. So we are going to be a project-based organization, and everything we do is going to be wrapped in a project. And right now we have 2 projects on the book. One project is East Cleveland Athletic and Electives Complex. And what we propose to do with that is we are trying to take over the Civic Center, the Martin Luther King Civic Center from the city, and we intend to tear it down and build a new multi-layer complex. We want to put an all-weather track in the back where the football field is, put an all-weather field on it, make it a multi-sport field for soccer, lacrosse, and football. And then we want to develop the youth in the city through athletics. Now the electives part of that is that we also want to then give people the opportunity to train in those areas that support athletics, like coaching, like athletic training, like physical therapy, sports medicine. So anything that it takes to run a sport, somebody has to learn how to do it, and there's a career in that, right? And so we want to develop that. We want to take over the facility, redevelop it, and then turn it over to the Bell Sports Foundation to actually run it. Because the Growth Association doesn't intend to own or run anything. Our goal is to make it possible for other folks to do stuff. Our second project, and I'm the project manager for that project. Our second project is a business incubator. We want to take the old Dow's Rapid Creation building on the corner of Chapman and Euclid, I think it is. We want to gut it and turn it into a 2-story incubator. And we want to develop small businesses to come into the community. Thank you, love. And then we want them to agree to stay in the city for 5 to 10 years after they come out of the incubator, right? So we won't let them into the incubator unless they agree that when they are mature and they can stand on their own, that they'll open their first office in East Cleveland for some period of time. And so, in order to facilitate this, we need money, right? And so right now, as a charity, we are eligible for federal grants and loans and all this kind of stuff too, right? But we want to go even further to control our own destiny. So we're applying to be a CDC. Now, a lot of people hear the term CDC and they think Community Development Corporation. And those are all over the place. You don't really have to do anything to be a CDC, but get incorporated and say that you're a CDC. The CDC we want to be is called a Certified Development Company. And as such, we will then be able to give loans of up to $5 million to businesses trying to come into East Cleveland. So we're in the process right now of completing that application process. And after that, we want to become what's called a CDFI, which is a Certified Development Financial Institution, which then makes us tantamount to a credit union. And then we can get bigger loans. And they aren't all government loans at that point. So this is what we want to do, right? And so right now I have a lot of people coming to me asking me to plant community gardens and do neighborhood cleanups and stuff like that. And we have to tell them no. We'll buy the brooms, but we ain't sweeping. Because it's going to be dirty the next day. That changes nothing. It's a nice gesture, the cameras roll, and it looks good. Go on that same street 2 days later, you won't even remember anybody was there. So we're trying to change the mindset of the community. We are completely apolitical. We have no political affiliations. We don't work with anybody from the city, government. We don't work with anybody from the schools. We'll use them as we need to, but we'll partner with none of them. We have no interest or desire. We also have no interest in annexation. We will do everything in our power to ensure that Cleveland never gets East Cleveland. And the other thing we won't ever do is run for political office. So don't ask me. Get down. Get down. I have no desire to be the mayor. Yeah. I don't want to take the pay cut. I'm gonna be honest with you. But really, I believe that we can do more outside of the government than I could ever do as part of the government. So we're asking a lot from people. And everybody always talks about, what I can do to help you. And I saw this post today on Facebook from, what's that cat? Anthony Wade. And people keep telling me that I should reach out to him. But I've spoken to Anthony about this before. And the action that he took, I respect anybody and any action they take in protest or what have you. But it does nothing to further his point, right? First of all, we didn't even know he was feeling that way till today. And secondly, he didn't give anyone a chance to respond to it. But that's what we do. We talk about what's wrong. But you know what we say? This is amazing to me. I don't know how much time I got, so y'all have to tell me when to shut up. This is amazing to me. We say, I wish someone would do. Right? We are all able-bodied individuals, but what we say is, I wish someone else would do. We don't say, I wish I would do, I want to do, I'm going to do. When I started posting on Facebook that I was going to start this organization called The Village, everybody was nice and respectful, but I know they didn't believe that I could do it. And they didn't understand what it would be. And that's cool, right? Because you have to prove to people that what you're trying to do is worthwhile to get them to come. So right now we're building the bandwagon, right? I understand that. Standing up here telling you all this is not going to change anything about what we're going through right now and whether or not we'll be any more successful than we already believe we'll be. But what I hope that it does is I hope that it kind of moves the barometer a little bit and get people to start thinking a little differently, right? Because we're undertaking a very difficult task here. And quite honestly, I'm not the cat that's going to be really concerned about people's personal sensitivities, right? That's not my role. I got other people for that. I got some stuff to do. And I need some help doing it because I'm not smart enough to do it all. But I promise you this, I'll figure it out if I don't know it. And so, you know, we want everybody's help. And whatever help you can give. Time, money, whatever. And we'll come to you folks and we'll ask you guys to support us and we'll ask you for help. And I've already reached out to some of my friends, like Greg Bell is on the board. I've asked Vince to sit on the board, a couple other people. And so I want to involve the people from East Cleveland. But it's not a black thing. And that's important too, right? My COO is a white guy. Big fat white guy. And he'll describe himself that way. I love him. He's been my friend forever. And he's committed. Now I've got some black folks who've joined the organization. I can't count on them for nothing. I could put a number tag on their back and I still can't count on them or anything. But that's okay because their heart's in the right place and maybe if they're not ready now, they'll be ready. So we'll just wait, right? And when they come, they'll be ready. But